start where we left off. If you notice, a quick wardrobe change. And I guess I'll have to go back and mark that last live stream public. And you'll have to tell me what you actually saw there. So we'll go for a little walk. You guys have ever had a tour of the garden here? As I was showing you earlier. Jody's back. So yeah, we'll meet with you another day, Massey Ferguson Super 90. You got me today, but there's always tomorrow or the next day. And these are my little elder bushes, grow elderberries. You went off the air, yeah. I realized I still was running on my home Wi-Fi, and part of this was an experiment to see, hey Dad, if like how much data I would use on my data plan and how the stream would go. But I didn't turn the Wi-Fi off, and I think the Wi-Fi was trying to run the stream instead of the data. So we're just running on straight data now. We'll see how that goes, because we're going to take a little walk out back to the outdoor studio. So I don't know what you guys saw. It didn't matter. It was a bust. The Massey Ferguson came out on top today, but I'll go back to the drawing board. But yeah, there's a little cherry tree. The cherries are already been picked. There's kinds of different herbs. There's some roses and yarrow in there. I don't know what. There were nice irises earlier in the year. Tiger lilies were in bloom. I don't know if you see some orange back there. But you can see these tall honking things. That's called, good grief, I forget. It's like tobacco. This is Nanking cherries. I think that's another elderbush. I don't know if I told you a story. My dad destroyed my gardens. Yeah, these are the ones he totally chopped down. I mean, they were nice and green like this, and they just needed to be cleaned up a bit, but he just destroyed them. Whatever. House is sold. It's somebody else's problem now. And yeah, we're gonna avoid the campside studio today, just because the sun is just blazing that way. I got some peppers and a cherry tomato that needs to be retied back up here. I think it's a little too shady for my tomato here. And more peppers, raised beds. As we make our way across the yard to the outdoor studio. I shot some videos there in the springtime when the weather was nasty. There we got some tomatoes. These ones are they're brandywine, so there's some fruits coming. It looks like half decent pollination. And then we got some Sicilian sauce tomatoes and more cherries. And there's an overgrown asparagus patch over here. There's asparagus everywhere. I ate some in the springtime. It was super sweet. It's amazing. Now it's all gone to seed. I don't think there's any. Yeah, there might be more coming up. I just haven't had time to look, let alone cook. So yeah, cherry tomatoes there. These were strawberry patches in these 4. I've grown other stuff, but just been taken over. There's still strawberry plants in there, but the strawberries didn't do much this year. These 2 are completely overgrown. Can't even tell what's in there. And then this is kind of the main garden area. Walk over here. Guys, let me know if you want to say hi to the pig. I'm gonna go stop by and say hello to him. Are we still alive? Anybody out there? We still have a signal? We got some taters here. Am I still here? My daughter and I had cucumbers, peppers, and tomatoes last year. This year, squash. Nice. What do we got? Zucchini here. I gotta start picking zucchini. There's a row of beans. They're doing pretty nice. Right next to that was a row of peas. Only like 2 plants came up, so I just replanted that the other day. I only had 3 cucumber plants come up, maybe 4. So that's kind of a disappointment. And then some beets, another zucchini plant here, a row of carrots, and then some more tomatoes, some more of those sauce tomatoes, and a couple more of the brandywines, and a couple more of the cherry tomatoes. This was an apple tree that essentially died. These are all suckers, so I think this could probably be divided and those can all be transplanted. There's grapes. Oh, there's a little row of green onions here too. Some grape vines, but I never trellised them. So let me know if we still got a signal happening. There's some horseradish here we planted years ago. Some wildflowers. I don't know what these are. These ones are called milk plant, and they attract the monarch butterflies. That's right. Piggy knows. And we're almost at our destination here. Some more raspberries here. There's raspberries. Oh, there's actually a few left. These bushes didn't really produce the last couple of years, but this year they came back nice. And a couple more elders, and then lots of Canada thistle back here. It's a jungle of Canada thistle. All right, let's get into the cool shade here. Set you all up. That's what I want. Raise you up. Your chair. Tilt you back a bit. Raise you up a little more. Yeah. Hope the squash makes it. All right, haven't been following chats. I got my other phone with me now, so I can watch what you guys are watching and play along. Just make sure I'm connected here. Oh geez. Let's see. Oh, this might not work. I thought I was had hotspot set up. Who knows? Anyways, I'm gonna plug you into power here. Another thing I wanted to try. Can you? Oh no way! You can drink on. All right, I wasn't sure. On these new iPhones, you can flip between front-facing screen and rear-facing cameras. Amazing. All right, I'll know for next time. I'll still learn. Like I say, this was an experiment. See if the data is sufficient to carry the day. Like, I didn't even get that greasy. I can still handle records in plastic sleeves. and CDs. Hey, you didn't know about the CDs, did you? Or the cassettes. Yeah, I found some cassettes. Not a lot of good stuff. Found my coffee. I would love to get this hotspot happening. Oh, maybe it worked. All right, let's give that a try. Let's give that the old try. Still nothing. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what you saw of the tractor repair. There was very little success there, other than I was able to turn a couple of bolts. So we'll pick that up another time. And what other stuff? The buyers of the house, they came yesterday for a little tour, so that was kind of neat. Got to meet the family, and they were able to ask me some questions. So it all seems like it's going along fairly smoothly. Other than I can't chat with you guys unless I can figure out how to do it on here. I don't know. I don't think so. Why you no work? Work. It says it's connected. Anyways, let's get down to this here. Is this charging? Is this charging? I don't know if you're charging. What is that? A Bigfoot? I don't know if you can see behind me, there's some choke cherries happening. Big clusters of them. These are very bitter. Nice and black. It's good for making jams and like syrup. Choke cherry flavored syrup. You get the sweet and the bitter together. I guess you can make wine out of it too. I don't know. All right, I'm unable to connect to my data plan on my other phone, so I'll just have to watch your chats as they come up on the screen till I can figure out if there's is there a way that I can see the chats otherwise. All right, let's get to the music stuff. Am I still here? Are you still there? Kind of easily distracted today. So we'll start with the record albums because they're nice and big and visual. I went to 2 used music stores yesterday, or no, on Wednesday, and found, well, maybe I'll break it down what I bought at each store. That'll be more fun. Beeping at me. Just gonna move you out of the way. This. Okay, so what did I buy at the one place? Everything but this, and this. Oh, that's a lot. Oh. That. This. That. And this is the other place. So I was looking for Aussie Black Sabbath, but they were crazy expensive. It was like 75 bucks for Blizzard of Oz, and I forget what else they had. They had Bark at the Moon. Um, they had some Sabbath, but I think I already. Oh, they had a copy of Sabotage. I might go back and grab that one. But I think it wasn't in great shape. But I was looking for Cooper as well, and so I found some. Here we go, 1974's Muscle of Love. I have this actually on my turntable right now. I was listening to this one, and it's beautiful shape. And I found this other Alice Cooper, Flush the Fashion, from the New Wave era, the cocaine era. It's funny listening to Alice Cooper interviews. It's like by the late 70s, early 80s, people were thinking he was done, kind of not washed up, but slowing down. And once he discovered cocaine, he's like, you just watch me. So I've been listening to Flush the Fashion on YouTube a little bit, so now I got a copy of vinyl. You might be able to find that on CD or cassette, probably cassette. It's just a cat tweaking out. So let's move on. So that was the one record store downtown. So then I found another Alice. This one is pretty neat. Alice Cooper Classics. So it's got a bunch from kind of the newer era that began in the late 80s. So there's Poison, Hey Stupid, and a bunch of other new ones. And then side 2, or half the album, is live from Birmingham. I don't know if that's Birmingham, England, or Birmingham, Alabama. Let's maybe just have a little look. So I gave this a listen to on the way home too. I just randomly grabbed what was ever in the bag. Let's see. Does it say? Where were the live ones? Does not say. Dang it. Oh well, I'm gonna have to do my research on that. But he does a bunch of his old school classics on the live. Under My Wheels, $1 Billion Babies, 18, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Only Women, School's Out. And then the last one is Jimi Hendrix Fire. Let Me Stand Next to Your Fire. It's a pretty fire version of Fire. So next we found Back in Black. Oh yeah, this one. This was $4, so I thought that was a deal. This one was $6. They had a few copies. Not that I'm a purist or anything, but I found the actual Atlantic press, not the reissue. So these ones were kind of neat. Commander Cody, anybody? This one is called The Lost Planet Airmen. Ozone. Commander Cody and The Lost Planet Airmen. Ozone. So this has got a bunch of the hits on there. Hot Rod Lincoln. Seeds and Stems again. And this one's got dope. This one's called Dopers, Drunks, and Everyday Losers. So I don't know if this is just Commander Cody and The Lost Planet Airmen. I don't know. I just grabbed it. This was $6. This one was $12. So that was big money for this one. I'm not a Rush fan, but they had a Farewell to Kings, and it wasn't $75 on CD. It was $9, so I grabbed that. Give that a listen to. They had some other Rush too, but this second store I went to, they've got Rush, but like it's all $20, $25, $30 for their CDs, not their albums. Van Halen 1. for $5. So just to have in the collection. Uh, Second helping, Leonard Skinnard. This one was a little pricey too, $8, but well worth it. And then these two, you can laugh if you want, but bought this for nostalgia's sake. I used to love Jewel, especially when I was driving truck. It's just such mellow, poetic music, just super simple. $2 each, so can't go wrong. That's just for the purpose of reminiscing. And then I wandered over to this cat is about to get disciplined. You gotta knock the whole darn thing over. All right, let's see. Can't go wrong for $2. Well, of course. So then I went over to the tape section, found Emmylou Harris, Cowgirl's Prayer. So there's a little bit of foreshadowing as to what I found at the second music store. So I've got this in the truck in the tape deck right now, listening to it. It's not bad. I think I was looking at some of her discography a week or two ago. And this was kind of a return to her country roots versus some of her poppy stuff. Slade, Rogues Gallery. There was no price on this. Oh, this one was $5. Wait a minute. I guess he's put the price on afterwards. Anyway, Slade, Rogues Gallery from 1985. It didn't have a price on it, but he put a sticker on, I guess, after he told me he would give it to me for $3. First he wanted $6. I said, you know what? I don't know anything about this album. I'm looking for older stuff. He's like, for you, $3. So okay, $3 I can do. I'll take a chance on it. So I don't know anything about Rogues Gallery, but I will. And so I guess he was a little ticked off, but he saw how much I was buying. So he said, because he went and looked it up in his computer, and it's like, yeah, this one really actually sells for $11, but for you, $3. So I'm like, good. And then there's this one, more Alice. So this was $8. They had vinyl, 2 copies of the vinyl for like $15. I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to limit my spending to $12 or $10 and under. So I didn't want, because I could have spent $1,000 in there, but I kept it to under 100. But I'm interested in this for the music, not necessarily the vinyl. I used to have this on vinyl, but this is good enough. I can live with that on cassette as long as it works. I didn't test that out. So that was the one record store, and I think it was $90. So that's what I spent there. And I think that was a pretty decent haul. And then what did I do? I ran a little errand and then made my way to second music store across town. And I found a whole bunch of vinyl. So I did find one CD there, Ugly Kid Joe, for $5. I had it in my hand and then I put it down, but then I looked at it again. This one has Sweet Leaf on it, as well as Everything About You. I don't know much about the other tracks on here, but I figured for $5 I'll give it a chance. And then the rest was all vinyl. So let's see what we found there. What is that? I'm unable to respond to the chats. In the chats, I'm just kind of trying to watch as you guys comment as it flashes up. I don't know how to control the chats on this phone. But this was Ugly Kid Joe, as ugly as they want to be. So I don't know if, let's get, I don't know if this is a compilation or what, but say it had Sweet Leaf on it. Sweet Leaf slash Funky Fresh Country Club. So let's see what's in store here. I had an Ugly Kid Joe CD when I was a wee lad. Well, no, not a wee lad. When I was a big lad, like in my 20s. So let's see. We'll keep not the best for last, but we'll kind of order do we want to put this in. So you've already seen this band here. And we found more Slade. Slade. And this one's got all kinds of hits. The whole world's going crazy. Will it happen again? Goodbye to Jane. Goodbye. Mama, we're all crazy now. So this one was 10 bucks, but I had a look at it and there was a bit of a scratch on it. So I said, can you do any better? And she said $5. So I said, okay, I'll take my chance with the scratch. So that was a neat one. Then we had, this seat in there. Black Oak, Arkansas. Raunt and Roll live album. And I'm not too familiar with any of these songs, but for 12 bucks, they had a whole pile of Black Oak, Arkansas. I could have cleaned her out and probably spent $100 just on Black Oak, Arkansas. But I didn't. But I did buy a second Black Oak, Arkansas, the Street Party. And I don't know if this is live as well. This one they had at the other record store as well. Love 'em, yes. So this one I think had a scratch on it, so I got her to put it down to $5. But she put it on her turntable and it didn't skip. It was just kind of a visual scratch. So we'll give that a good old chance. And then I was thinking of Mike number 1 as I held this next album in my arms, in my loving arms, my dirty fingers. And so I found Yes, Fragile for $7, and it's in great shape. So there you go. That one's for you, Mike. Yeah, this one was made in Canada, so it's not worth anything. This one I've been looking for. Spent maybe a little more than I wanted to, but Jackson Browne, Running on Empty, $15. And in beautiful shape, like new. And so I asked her, like, are you buying collections? Like at the second record store, like the first record store, that guy's been there for years and years. And actually, both of them have been there for years. And I said, do you go and buy record collections? She says, no, it's just trade-ins and what people bring in. Great record. Rogers Dean did the artwork on. Yes, great illustrator. I gotta pay attention to your comments. So I was surprised, like, people are bringing in good quality records, whereas if you buy a collection, you get good, bad, and everything in between. So And that was playing with my cigarette too much. So this one is actually, the last time I went there, running on empty, yes sir. And like I said, I've been keeping my eyes open. I was actually hoping to find that on CD, so I could listen to it while I'm driving, but I guess I can go see how I have any blank cassettes or burn it onto a CD or something. I don't know if I still have the hardware to do that. But last time I was at this one record store, I said, "Do you guys have any Graham Parsons?" And I don't know. She went and looked on her computers, like, no. I don't know if she was looking for Graham Parsons or Graham Parsons, but she said no. I said, "Any birds?" No. I said, "Because I'm looking for this one particular one." She says, "Well, I do have this box set of the birds." And I had a look at it. It was only 20 bucks, 4 CDs. Well, I said, I'll think about it. So I went home, looked at it, and it's like, it's got all the hits, like from all the eras with Crosby. And like, I don't know a ton about the birds. Graham Parsons replaced David Crosby, from my understanding. But this is the one I was looking for, and this is the one I asked her about last time. Do you have Sweetheart of the Opera, of the rodeo? And there it was, hanging on the wall. So this one was for the princely cost of $25, but it's in immaculate shape. And this is the one I've been looking for. That's probably the only Birds album I'll get. Maybe I'll go back and grab that box set. It's like all the singles, and it's got the Graham Parsons era as well. And I think I'm out of vinyl. I'm out of CDs. Yeah, I've been listening to it on YouTube, but now I got my copy, and so there we go. Got a little bit of Americana history in my grubby little fingers here. So I was pretty pleased. I think I spent about 170 bucks just on music. I probably have better things to spend money on, but this will keep me going for a while. And there's actually a few guys like on Marketplace that are selling some interesting looking collections. So I'll put some feelers out, find some more used vinyl. But that first record store that I went to, I hadn't been there in probably a year. No, I shouldn't say that. Um, I think I was there maybe wintertime or early spring. I would say, no, it was still wintertime when I was there. And I mean, these places are overwhelming to me. The CD has a Graham Volk. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so just for that alone, because you bring up a good point, they had recorded certain Birds tracks with Graham Parsons on vocals, but on the official releases, because he was under contract with, you're gonna have to help me out. I'm drawing a blank on who he was contracted with and under what label, which band. But they replaced his vocals on the Birds albums, and on this compilation box set, they've included those tracks with Graham Parsons vocals. So yeah, just for that alone, that might be worth the 20 bucks. Like, and 20 bucks, like, why not? A lot of good music on there, like even the pre and post Parsons era. So yeah, I'll probably make my way back there. They did have a nice, I shouldn't say it, they have a Motorhead box set as well, vinyl. I haven't looked at it yet. It's $100. Someday I'll come back and I'll probably just buy that. So that's been on the wall for a while. They got all their kind of high end, high price stuff on hanging on the walls for people to see. So next time, well, not next time. when I finally break down and decide to spend the $100 on one box set, I'll go get that one. But yeah, I got a good idea of what they got. Like they've got a lot of stuff that a buddy of mine would love. So I'll have to tell him to head down. He's been to that record store. What else was I going to say about the records? Yeah, I want to find some more 80s hard rock, 70s and 80s hard rock and hair metal and that kind of stuff. So the heavy metal albums like Quiet Riot, the old Randy. No, they didn't have anything with Randy, the Japan releases. But even, Quiet Riot, Metal Health, I think it was like $50 or something on vinyl. So it's something like that I could live with on CD. I don't necessarily want the vinyl if I'm going to sit and listen to it, because I can only listen to it at home. But if I'm spending a lot of time driving, then yeah, that's where I get most of my get into prog, get into hair metal, get into hair metal. Like, why not? Just go for it. Poison, Rat, Motley Crue. I guess Guns N' Roses and was kind of the last of the hair metal bands. Like, what would Guns N' Roses be? I still consider them hair metal. You're good. Okay. Yeah, I'm tiptoeing into prog territory, but they had a lot of Genesis. It was a little overpriced for what I was budgeting. And even on CD, the Genesis on CD, I was. Oh yeah, this is what I want to say. They have quite, at the first record store I went to, they had quite a selection of Frank Zappa. And so I was talking with the guy behind the desk, the owner, Peter, at I don't even remember what the place is called. It used to be the Sound Exchange, and then probably about 20 years ago it changed owners. So I don't know if he bought the Sound Exchange with all their inventory, but he's saying, I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of CDs and cassettes to go through. So he's got quite a selection, but nice selection of Frank Zappa. And we were talking about that. It was pricey, yeah, but I mean, you're not going to find it on CD formats quite readily. So, but I was saying to him, it's like, because he put a Grateful Dead vinyl on, because he was testing some of his purchases to see what condition they were in. So when I walked in, he had Rolling Stones on. It was a little scratchy, but listenable too, like a little staticky. And then he threw this Grateful Dead on. So I asked him, like, what is that? He's like, because I thought maybe this is the Birds or something. But it was the Dead, and I said, yeah, I see you got a lot of Zappa and Grateful Dead. Those are two acts. They're such a rabbit hole. I don't even know where to begin. I'm kind of taking my time exposing myself to Frank Zappa. So maybe do a little more YouTube research. If you have suggestions on a good place to begin, I think they had, what was it, Hot Rats there? Which I think Shake Your Booty. There was a bunch. There was quite a selection, but they were all generally like $20 and up. Some with the Mothers of Invention, Freak Out, the first offering from Zappa, as far as I recollect. We've got between 70 and 80 Zappas. These comments don't stay up long enough. I'm missing a bunch of your comments. So if I'm not responding, It's not that I'm ignoring anybody. It's just they don't stay up there fast, or they don't stay up there long. So I should try pairing my laptop. This phone just doesn't want to give me any love here. It says it's connected to my hotspot. I just can't pull up YouTube. Actually, let's try this. Let's shut that app and try again. Oh, there we are. Okay, give me a second here. I'll go back and read comments now. Where are we? Where are we? Live. Here we are. Yes, here we are. Okay, let's go back and read some chats here. Off the air, back. Okay. Cool tractor. Cucumber, squash. Yeah, where do you go? Aerosolized virus in New York? I'd say get out of there. That's just me. Who knows? I could be breathing in aerosolized virus as we speak. Who's Peggy? Asparagus. Yes. Muscle of love. We got a fan. Commander Cody. Saw Rush and Max Webster live at Mansfield State College in the 70s. Very impressed with Max Webster. Larata. Jamie popped in. I don't know if he stuck around. Good guitar work on Ugly Kid Joe. Black Oak, Arkansas. Yes. Rogers Dean on yes. I think you're referring to Fragile. Every track is a gem. I think you're referring to the Birds. You said get it? Well, I got it. And then Zappa, American Beauty for the Dead. Okay. All right, how do I get onto Dylan Dead Terrapin Station? You've got 70 to 80 Zappa CDs. That's amazing. Like, what has he got? About 100 in his discography? That's pretty impressive. How do I get onto on top? How do I get on the live chat? Oh, here we go. Chat filter. All messages. Yes. I don't think that's a factor here, but who knows? Maybe somebody's getting blocked. I don't know why YouTube doesn't just default to all messages instead of top messages. Should be able to select that. But anyways, that's my record haul. That was kind of my week. What else? I saw a few more Randy Rhoads. Another documentary, and I had put a link to the documentary I was talking about last week in last week's comments. You're not seeing all the messages. If you can see, on your device, on live chat, you can choose top messages or all messages. So figure out how to select all messages. You might have to press the little gear icon for settings, and that'll allow you to toggle between top chats and all chats. And for whatever reason, sometimes uh, uh, you can't see certain chatters. Like if there were like 1,000 people in the stream, like I don't know how the algorithm sorts that, but it should just default to all messages. And then if you don't want to see all that stream of chats go by, then you should be able to filter out. But I don't know how they filter. Um, but yeah, top chats is for the it's not for the birds. Top chats is weird. And yeah, so Dad says the family is still releasing new material from the vault. Yeah, it seems to be just dripping and constant drip. And I'm kind of mistaken. Like some of the stuff I'm finding, I haven't looked for Randy Rhoads documentaries and materials in quite some time. And so I'm seeing some stuff that's been out for a couple of years or longer. But as of late, there's just been more and more. And it's not all AI generated, it's actual like creators, content creators. So that's really lovely to see. I'm finding stuff, and then there's a lot of like guitar channels and music review channels that are analyzing Randy's techniques and showing how he does certain things. Or the one I saw the other day, top 20 Randy Rhoads techniques, and shows you how he would do the double picking and open string pull-offs and like just fantastic stuff. The one technique that really moved this one guitar instruction creator, like I guess he gives lessons on YouTube, but he's using the pickup toggle switch on a lot of guitars, especially the Les Paul. The toggle switch is above the strings on the Stratocasters and Telecasters. It's below the strings, and he was playing on some kind of Flying V. I don't know what it was exactly, and it had the toggle switch for the pickups, the neck pickup and the bridge pickup, below the strings, kind of towards the bottom of the body, and he was able to reproduce that middle position. It shuts off both, so you get this and he was crediting, I forget who, with coming up with that technique, but I think Ace Frehley was the first one to do that. Rebecca is here with badgers and rats in the chat. Larata, welcome in from merry old England. So Ace on a lot of the live performances, he would do that toggling, and that just shakes the whole arena, like just da, 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 da. And the faster you can switch. The one guy said it's like having that video game, that rhythm you get to is just tap 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 tap. If you can get that tapping, like even with fretting and tapping with either your pick or the finger, like you can get some fantastic sounds and harmonics, whether it's pinch harmonics or natural harmonics on the fretboard. Oh, you're in France. Okay, I thought you were in UK. Oh, Rebecca. Okay, I know. I was thinking of somebody else. No, who was the other lady that was in here the other day? UK off grid or something like that. Yeah, Rebecca from Stream, you're you're in France. So any French speakers in the audience, say bonjour to Rebecca. Ce soir, we're reviewing the albums. So you have to go back in the live stream to see all the records I bought this week. It's late in France. Yeah, what is it? Got to be midnight-ish or something? So thank you for tuning in. Uh, haven't seen the Bad Badger himself in a few days. So yeah, that's where we're at. Uh, what else we got on the go here? Got to start selling stuff. I was going to have a garage sale this weekend, but the weather was just kind of weird. And I've got somebody wanting to bonsoir, not bad. Well, we are like La Canadienne here, eh? 2:43 a.m. Wow. Thank goodness it's not a school night. Your parents would be mad if you were up here on a Tuesday night here. 2:43 in the morning. The ladies from the UK was in your first stream. Oh, okay. I don't know what you guys ended up seeing there, so I'll have to go back. I haven't marked it public yet. Um, uh, like I think it all recorded. Just I don't know what got uploaded live. So again, the tractor diagnostic. I'll put my thinking cap on and see if I can come up with a better plan tomorrow. I kind of gave you a little bit of my strategy of what I plan to do. Everybody loves music, Rebecca. That's the one thing. Like, uh, music has such universal appeal. It's all a matter of preference, right? And I've talked about this before. It's like, what makes music? Like, what is music? It's it's just something that resonates with people, and some people like jazz, some people like country, some country rock, or southern rock, or heavy rock, or blues, or like or easy listening, or classical. Like, but there's something about music that, like, it's one of those mysterious things. Like, you can't quantify it. Like, you can't take an ounce of music or 10 grams of music and put it on the table and analyze it or stick it under a microscope. It is so subjective, and there's just this level of creativity that I believe is entirely human in nature. And this is kind of what bugs me about AI. Uh, uh, yes, it does, and don't rely on Andy Edwards. Yeah, he's been scratching his head over this too. And I don't know that I need to find the answer, but it's just a question that begs to be answered. Like, what is music? Because it's difficult to analyze. And well, like, what is good music versus inferior music or lousy music? Uh, I mean, my preference, like, I don't like rap or urban hip hop necessarily. Some of it I can listen to, but it's just, it has to do with the production methods, the looping, the dubbing, uh, the syncopation, the rhythms, the lack of harmony, the lack of melodies. Like, some of it does have some musical appeal, but it's just not my cup of tea per se. And it's not that rap music is bad inherently. It's just doesn't appeal to me. Like, we all have our musical tastes. There's people out there like just saying, you love all music. Well, music could be as simple as, you know, finding. I could I could make music out of pretty much anything, finding different tones and making melodies and harmonies. Like Andy Edwards grabbed a pair of drumsticks one time and he was playing the wall and some metal steel tubing on the sides of the factory where he has his studio, that old carpet textile factory. So it's like, all right, not everybody has a factory they can play as an instrument, Um, Larata is still here. I was waiting for bus and vaping and drinking my Monster Energy drink to go shopping on the bus. Shout out to shopping and Monster Energy drinks. Larata. Um, but it's like where did music originate? Like, was it just a hollowed out log that people were thumping on? I mean, it's not terribly important to know where it all originated necessarily, but music is just one of those things that's so difficult to describe accurately. And so we kind of describe it in indirect ways. So things like this, the philosophy of music, not just the mechanics and the theory of music, but the philosophy of music is something that's, I don't think, I think we maybe scratched the surface of where that discussion can go. And I've seen on Andy's channel, he's had people discuss this kind of thing, and there's it must speak to you, and so here's where you get into kind of these woo-woo, kind of esoteric ideas of your very molecules or even your DNA is possibly set up to vibrate and resonate with certain musical tones. I remember one presenter years ago was talking about how church bells can have this epigenetic effect where, if just imagine 3 centuries ago back in Europe, or these Christian nations, Northern Europe, or even Eastern Europe, where the village church bell would chime at a certain tone, and like it's like that tone gets ingrained into your lineage, so that your great 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 grandparents knew that an E flat was a call to worship. And so without even realizing it or knowing why, when you hear that E flat, it's like it's striking a chord, some would say in your spirit, but it's almost epigenetically like it's part of your physical makeup. It's part of your DNA. And that particular tone, even though it's not being rung by a bell, like that E flat might just do something for you in particular. I'm just using this as an example. It could be a C sharp, it could be a B, it could be, it could be any tone, but if your ancestors were familiar with that tone, it literally, your very being vibrates in resonance with that tone. So I don't know if that's a bunch of hooey. It's an interesting idea. Water responding to vibrations. Yeah, those the Chladni effect with sand on like a steel membrane or a steel drum, or a surface where you could pass different sound waves through. It adopts. Did I get a new haircut? No. Somebody was suggesting I needed a haircut. No, this is just the same mop. It's just growing out. I did get some tar in my beard the other day, but I think it washed out. I was gonna trim that out, but I think it washed out. Some roofing tar. It's doing some patching on the roof. Got a little messy. No haircut. This is just my sweaty hair from that tractor repair. So gave it a quick brush. Well, I have been using some conditioner, so it's making my hair a little less frizzy, because it's so thick it tends to poof out, which is But yeah, these discussions around music and these different theories, again, it's difficult to prove something like what I just talked about with the church bells. But I think there's a potential to do some study into that. uh, but who's funding those kinds of studies? I mean, that's probably a PhD project right there. If you could look at people and measure physiological responses to different tones, and then figure out through their family history, like where the connection between the tone and the physiological response may have originated from. So I'm just talking a bunch of baloney here, but there you go, look more handsome. Well, I don't know if that's possible to look more handsome, but I'll take your word for it. Um, but yeah, just because I've been involved in music pretty much my whole life. Uh, like I started piano lessons probably when I was 5 years old. And, you know, we all had those little player pianos as kids, or xylophones. And so I wasn't really the one to initiate the piano lessons. I think my parents got me in that uh, to help me develop a skill or discipline or something. My parents, neither of them are musical. My mom bought a keyboard to learn to play, but I don't think she ever got very far. Uh, she was trying to learn off these different music systems versus learning the techniques and the theory behind music. It was more just finding chord shapes and patterns. And I'm just waiting for this comment to come up. I can't quite read it. The call. Something concert. I can't read what it says. So music has been a part of my life, listening and playing. The Cologne concert was good. Piano. Okay. Like I do have an appreciation for a lot of classical music, Brahms, Beethoven, Bach, Mozart, you know, all the classics there. Don't listen to it enough, but some of that stuff is really resonates with me. I don't really have much classical in my collection at the moment, so but those you can always find, like greatest piano concertos and greatest symphonies. You can find compilations, or I have to start like, who likes Eddie Jobson? You tried that out on me a while back. I never got very far with that. And but even, yeah, another video I saw this week, just the genius of of hard rock heavy metal. It's just 3-chord uh, music riffs, and like the rock and roll riff, you know, just those repeating melody lines that are part of the song, but they're somewhat independent from the song, or they can be independent from the song. And always loved Tom Petty. Like someone was reviewing like Black Sabbath, and how Ozzy, he would essentially sing the riff, whereas others um, like Alice is pretty good with this. He would sing across the riff. So he wouldn't copy the melody of the riff, but he'd sing across it. An example of singing with the riff would be like "School's Out." He's essentially following the riff line, but then there's or 18. I'm just trying to think of a good example of singing across riff. That was just was I listening to? Let me grab this. There was one song that kind of stood out. Let me find my CD. These classics. Like No More Mr. Nice Guy. The riff is ba, 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 ba. That's the riff, and that theme continues throughout the song, but Alice never really sings along that riff. He sings across it, a harmonizing kind of way. And so there's yeah, Rebecca, you'll have to get Mike to do some prog reviews on his channel. Still waiting for that. Tom Petty was always very listenable, but I have no desire to put that in my collection. I don't know if I would listen to that. Like just genius, simple songwriting. Like it's almost so simple, it shouldn't be popular, but it's a formula that works, you know. I really appreciate his contribution to 20th century and 21st century popular music and all that, but it's just it's not that it's predictable. Like it's very listenable, but it's been, I guess it's been played to death on the radio. I've heard all those songs like just over and over and over, and so I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of these purchases I made here, you're not hearing a lot of that stuff on the radio. Commander Cody, uh, Black Oak, Arkansas, Flush the Fashion. Like you hardly ever hear Alice Cooper on the classic rock stations around here. If you listen to Alice's Attic, his radio show, he'll put his stuff on the radio, and that's, I think, every weeknight he broadcasts. Love Music by Anya and Robert Miles, depending on my mood. I've heard of Anya, not familiar with much of her content, and Robert Miles, you said? I couldn't tell you what that is. So, what style of music is? Was it Robert Miles? You said? Like Anya is pretty easy listening. Not new wave, but what genre would you call that? Very lyrical, somewhat experimental. I don't know, I could be just talking crap here. But the second artist you mentioned, I have no idea who that is or what style or genre of music that is. So help us out, Jody. Tell us. Don't keep us guessing. Or give us some songs that you may be familiar with. And then there's songs or there's artists that I loved, but I'm not looking to get their vinyl. Like I'm not interested in replacing all my Kiss albums. If I can find those on CD and listen while I'm driving, I don't necessarily need those vinyl albums, but because you could find all their stuff on cassette and CD. But things like the Sweetheart of the Rodeo, I mean, you might be able to find that on CD, maybe cassette. So yeah, for vinyl, I'm kind of focusing on stuff that I can't get in other formats other than YouTube. And yeah, so it's sort of like there's a deep dive into all these artists. It's like what makes this particular artist do something for you, and to really think about it and give a thoughtful answer other than, well, I just like it. It's like, okay, well, that's, and I'm not criticizing anybody's approach here, but it's like, if you really just sat down, it's like, what is it about this? Like, what is it? what emotions is it stirring up? What is it inspiring me to do or feel or say? What about what is it about the creativity of this music that really strikes a chord with me? Because then you start getting into these kind of quasi spiritual uh, discussions or questions that only you can answer. It's like, 'cause I do believe in God, and I do believe that that's something imparted to us or gifted to us is an appreciation or an ability to create and appreciate music. Celtic music. All right, there you go. Yeah, I that's a genre I never never went deep into. If Jamie is still in the chats, I mean the mariachi, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I don't know if Jamie saw direct. He was bitching, moaning, whining, complaining earlier on a live stream. Robert Miles is much more easily listening. Yeah, so that's kind of Celtic music. That's somewhat of a niche. So so yeah, how you discovered that or how you discovered an appreciation for that. It's like it's kind of one of those discussions you have with yourself. Like, what is it about Randy Rhoads that I just hear those riffs and it just elevates me like instantly. Or you hear like with Ozzy, there's the quality of his voice, like the strength of his voice, the delivery, the control, uh, just the quality of it matched with the songwriting and the lyric writing. Uh, like something about his voice does him. I saw another great music review today while I was fixing a lawnmower in the garage. It was Charismatic Voice. Elizabeth was reviewing Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills and Running Free from the Live After Death album, which I used to have on vinyl. That one I would like to get back. Um, but the Iron Maiden albums were like $75 at that first record store. He had Killers, he had Number of the Beast. There was a couple others. Oh, I think he had Power Slave on CD. I should have picked that up. Or no, it was Somewhere in Time. I think I had Somewhere in Time back in the day. And it wasn't the greatest. Um, but Bruce Dickinson's voice, uh, Dave Murray, and what was the other guitarist? Smith, Nico on drums. I mean, there's something about just certain combinations of artists. Alice Cooper, that whole band, they all had their contributions. Even the Blizzard of Oz, you had Ozzy, Randy, and then it was Daisley and Kerslake. And Kerslake has since passed away. Daisley is still around, but I think that was the only album they put together. And then Sarzo came in, and Tommy Aldridge on drums for a period. So that combination of artists that put that first Blizzard of Oz album together, I'm trying to think of if they toured. Toe's going live. See you later, Larata Strong. Okay, go say hi to Toe. Um, let's see, that ancient body of thought that comes through the music and gets you on its perfect wavelength, touching everyone different ways. Yeah, like there's just you're describing something, but it's like the more you describe it, the less you're describing. Like that's the futility of music analysis sometimes. What I like about the charismatic voice is she brings like a mechanical understanding, and like as an example, Let me get off my chair just to demonstrate. She was saying how Bruce Dickinson came up with the horse stance. So I don't know if you've seen Maiden live. Let's tilt this down, but like he plants himself with his feet wide apart, and she was saying that gives him a physical strong foundation. Like he's planted firmly, so that helps him deliver and project his voice in a particular way. And like that's the first time I've heard that. It's like that's incredible. Uh, just how your stance, like if and it makes sense. Like if you're hunched over trying to project, and your chin is in tucked in, like you're not, versus shoulders back, legs firmly planted, feet firmly planted, arms allowing your lungs to push that air past your vocal cords, uh, and then controlling your vocal cords and your sinuses, nasal passages to get the sound you want, the growl, the tones. Like there's a real skill in being able to create the voice that you want your listeners to hear. And yeah, your posture is part of it. Your just the whole thing. So I find that kind of analysis fascinating, but it's still not. It's like what is it about that whole delivery that actually impacts you to respond in the way you do? Because I remember that Live After Death album. That one got played over and over and over and over back when I was 13, 14 years old. We got Van Morrison discussion in the chat. I know nothing about Van Morrison other than Andy Edwards despises him. Brown Eyed Girl, is that one of his? That's probably the only Van Morrison track I could name. I don't know much about the artist, other than his being hated by certain Brits. Leonard Cohen, study of sound frequencies seem to confirm the relevance of the... Yeah, like I so appreciate YouTube in that people are putting out these documentaries with like these deep dive analyses, whether it's the Sex Pistols or what were the Ramones trying to accomplish, like with that hammering guitar, nonsensical bass approach of Dee Dee Ramone, the reggae influence on bands like Blondie. Like there's just so much to unpack. So pick your favorite artist, go find some documentaries. Somebody somewhere is talking about them and giving their 2 cents worth. Some of the artists I've talked about, like I haven't even scratched the surface. I need to do, like I did a fairly not comprehensive, but I gave a tribute to Alice Cooper in a standalone video back in March or something like that. So I did one for Pink Floyd, did one for Kiss, did one for Alice, and again, it was brief. It was, I think, under an hour, but I wasn't getting into, I wasn't, or there's so much more to explore in any artist. And so, yeah, with Leonard Cohen and, shoot, what was it? Velvet Underground, right? There's all kinds of stuff to get into there. Lou Reed was part of that outfit, I believe. not too familiar with Velvet Underground, but they were kind of pioneering, groundbreaking, influential. What's the matter, you? Welcome, sort of. Everybody say hi to What's the Matter, you? Late as usual. Have to go back. Go back to the beginning, watch it 3 times speed, and then you can comment. What else? What else to carry on the theme of musical impact here? Glad to be here, sort of. Yeah, well, we're glad to have you here, sort of. So, always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure. And I use that term pleasure loosely. That's all. We're just picking on him. It's all good fun. He can take it. He's got his big boy pants on. He can take it. So, what do you guys? Did you find that place in Montana or whatever you were looking for? Give us the update. We want to know. Or was it? Yeah, it was some property you were looking at. Some acreage. Inquiring minds want to know. Because you were in Washington State or something? Getting toasty? No, just getting crusty. Getting crustier every day. That's the way I like it. But yeah, looking forward to my next trip to the record store. But I gotta start listening to this stuff once in a while. My truck is getting overloaded with CDs, so I gotta come up with some kind of system to manage all this music, get certain things into rotation and others out of rotation, as well as storing all this. All these CD jewel cases are kind of just starting to pile up. And, so let's just see what you guys are talking about. You're in Oregon waiting to escape to Montana, but must take care of elder mother and sister for now. Well, there you go. Well, I hope your plans for Montana head east, young man. Hope that all works out. Sounds like you're in process. And I'm gonna probably be moving westward, or at least, yeah, I got a tractor to sell you. What's the matter? Yeah, I think once we got the possession date for the new owners, I'm gonna take the month of September, figure out a plan to do a western tour, make my way to province of Alberta and BC, visit some friends and family. But I kind of had this idea the other day of going through the states, across North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, and then popping up. Well, I'd probably go Montana. I think if you go north from Billings, it takes you kind of to the border and gets you into Lethbridge, Alberta, and then towards Calgary, Edmonton. And then I'd make my way to the west coast, Vancouver, BC, traveling through the mountains in the interior, and then just see what's going on. I'm sure there's lots of tractors out where you guys are looking to settle. It actually does work. It'll run. It's just got this nasty tick, and if I run it the way it's with the bearing damage that's in there, it's just gonna end up all the metal shavings will get into oil, and then that'll get pumped throughout the engine and cause premature wear. So it's just some required maintenance. And for a tractor that's 60 years old, I mean, still find parts for it. It still runs like a top when it's running well. I know you're messing with me. Well, it literally is not working right now because there's no oil in it, and battery's probably dead. And the new tire, I bought a new tire and inner tube for the front tire. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the tire is flat. So I don't know if I hit it with a weed whacker or my dad hit it when he was mowing the lawn, but that thing is leaking right at the valve stem on this brand new inner tube that I just bought last year. So there's another repair I gotta take care of before that thing's up and running, but replacing that is not a big deal. I just can't figure out how to get that darned oil pan off. So if you guys know anything about Massey Ferguson connector rod bearing replacements, please speak up in the chat or leave a comment. Anybody watching this after the fact, we've got tricks and techniques that I haven't tried yet, but I think I gotta, like I say, lower the back end so that I get that little bit of separation that I'm looking for, and then that oil pan should just drop. So we'll fool around with that tomorrow. Yeah, well, ChatGPT might be the answer. I think if you try to cross the border into the US, you might find some jerk-off has written a number of warning letters to feds about you and what you are into. Well, why would you go and do that? Thanks, what's the matter? I'm a good boy. Would you let this sweet, innocent face into your country? Of course you would. Well, we'll see. I mean, I used to drive truck. I spent lots of time in the States. I wouldn't say they know me there, but they know of me. So I haven't done anything that offensive in the last 30 years. Unless maybe one person is offended and they called the feds. What's the matter with you? But yeah, maybe the FBI is looking for me. Maybe all those planes that randomly fly overhead without any good reason to. Maybe that's the feds keeping an eye on me. I don't know. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, the only reason I sold the place is to get away from the gang stalkers. So there we are. We talked about music, we talked about tractors, we talked about the FBI. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Yeah, but this person who wrote the letters has a great imagination, so here's what they said. Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm being accused of kidnapping Sasquatches and that sort of thing, I guess, yeah, guilty as charged. Who knows what kind of stuff people are saying out there on the internets. But yeah, that was my idea, because I know none of you in here would have ever driven across the Canadian prairies, but I hate that drive from Manitoba through Saskatchewan to Alberta. Like, it's just so dull. Like, there's no nice cities. There's nothing to see. I remember driving through Montana when I was driving truck. And it's just glorious. Like sure, it's big sky country and Saskatchewan on the Canadian prairies and the Great Plains there, but like there's literally nothing. There's no attractions, but even through North Dakota, there's some interesting valleys and places to go through. North Dakota is not the most exciting state to travel through, but once you kind of get towards Montana and that way, I've been up through northern Idaho, crossing into BC, and that way I've been through northern Washington state. I'd actually like to do some exploring around eastern Washington, just see what's available for real estate there. Like that would be a great place to settle in my books, because I could be like northeastern Washington, you'd be close to British Columbia, Canadian border, so you kind of go across back and forth. It's just what would you do there? But there's plenty of land available. A Sasquatch AC/DC cover band. Well, I hadn't thought about it until just now, but now that you mention it, that's the damn best idea I've ever heard. Holy smoke. Well, do a preview with a ChatGPT version of this concept, and then I'll get my Squatch buddies together, and I'll teach them how to play instruments if they don't already know. A few par chords. That's a free, no charge for that idea? Okay, good. Yeah, I should talk. I haven't even picked up that Telecaster. I just look at it, and I said if I just keep looking at it and walking past it, I need to sell it. But I think I'll pick it up one of these days. Oh, they can play as well as Angus's. Well, yeah, but can they do the duck walk and spin around on stage while playing guitar? And I mean, if we were doing the Bon Scott thing, I'd have to try to pick up a Sasquatch on my friggin' back, try to lift him into the air. All right, go prog on there, Mike. Thanks for coming. They're agile. Yeah, I just don't think my back would be able to hoist a Sasquatch. Like that's a power squat and a half, man. Like how much does a Sasquatch weigh? 700? 800? I don't know. Maybe some teenager Sasquatches. Full-grown Sasquatch, that might be a task. Anyways, we've devolved into discussions of the ridiculous. First, it was just the mysterious and the inane, but now that What's the Matters You is here, it's just gone off the rails. 1600 to 1800, 10 to 12 foot. Well, yeah. Okay, I guess we won't be doing the Bon Scott hoisting on the shoulders thing. Do Sasquatches play bagpipes? That would be good to know. I don't know if anybody's ever asked that question in the history of the universe. Can a Sasquatch play the bagpipes? Waiting. Who's got an answer? Well, there's only 2 of you watching now, so. That one. So yeah, if we want this to get more ridiculous, we could just keep going on and on. But how long have we been going here? This is hour and a half already, almost. Oh, I think nobody's gonna watch an hour and a half of this ridiculousness. People will watch for 5 minutes and say say, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Actually, that last live stream from last week, I don't know if it was the title, the thumbnail was just a campfire. I don't know what the thumbnail for this one will be. Maybe I'll put Sweetheart of the Rodeo, just a camera shot of that as the thumbnail for this. But that last one got over 100 views so far in a week. So people are finding it. I don't know how. It doesn't really matter. But it's not not a matter of being popular or finding a channel. It just, when you see kind of the views spike, it's like, okay, what's going on? Was there some kind of appeal of what we were talking about? So still trying to figure out YouTube, and I'm not doing all the things that the YouTuber creator experts say. You got to do this, you got to do that, and you got to schedule your premieres, and sounds like a lot of work. And when I've tried to schedule stuff, that's when all the technical difficulties come, and then you people are waiting to watch, and then I've seen this where a thing is scheduled for 7 p.m. and you tune in at 7. And, oh shoot, Savannah Bananas are probably starting up pretty soon too. Savannah Bananas start at 8 p.m. So I think I might be able to tune in, catch the third inning and on. But yeah, you just try to schedule a live stream and then it's delayed, and an hour later it finally starts. Like, no, who's that dedicated to stick with a creator that long? I think my method is just, I'm going live later around here, come find me. That seems to be working. So in any case, I should start cleaning up because the sun is going down, and I don't want to be cleaning all this stuff, making my way back to the house and get attacked by a Sasquatch yet, because they do enjoy choke cherries, and after dark I do hear some pretty wild stuff. Oh yeah, animals. I gotta feed the piggy, feed the kitties, feed the doggy. I gotta feed the Brent. I gotta have some supper yet too. So I think we'll cut it off here. We'll see if I get some new music in the next few days, or if something comes up. I attack that tractor again. I'll bring you in for that as well. And yeah, it's been fun. I like these kind of weirdo discussions that kind of go nowhere. Yeah, it's just prompting a conversation, right? Like the music stuff, the esoteric, mysterious nature of music, the bizarre, nonsensical nature of What's the Matter You. Like, it all fits together perfectly and makes a wonderful live stream. So thank you, Dad. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, What's the Matter. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. I saw Tanya was in the last live stream, left a comment. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, whoever else I may have missed. And yeah, we'll call that a night. And love you guys. Be good. And if you can't be good, be bad.